for this kind of the wrong thing, okay, so in the tumblebugs one group, we're just looking for arms above her head. And we're just looking to see that they can roll the leg to the mat, staying on the mat. Go ahead. No, that's okay. Make mistakes like the kids, that's okay. Okay, so what we're looking for then is not a perfect log roll, as you can see. We want them to stay on the mat so they're going in the same direction. We want their arms up here so that they're not rolling on top of their arms. We're trying to eventually get them to roll completely straight and have the hollow body and the out curve happening all the time. Basic start, right? I didn't put it down an incline anymore because I honestly feel like that's too easy for almost every kid.
It doesn't really.
That's just my opinion. I mean, I don't know. Just roll down the hill. Yay, pass. Okay, so our first thing on the incline is our forward roll to tuck sit. Okay, so you just need to do your little ta-da, present, roll down and land and grab your knees. Don't stand up. Thank you. Okay, so that way, because they're grabbing, they're hopefully not reaching for the mat, because eventually we are trying to do forward roll to stand, which is with no hands, like Shannon asked a long time ago. Okay, any questions? Pretty easy. Okay, cartwheel over box. So this is one that we sort of, somebody's going to be able to do this real nicely, right? This is when I just changed the description a little bit, because it was already in there. You can just start right here. And just do your nice cartwheel over. So the only description part, legs straight and wide, because we were getting a lot of kids back over here that were just putting their hands on the box on the side and just jumping their feet over like we can do together. Yeah. And so now again we have a situation where does that pass?
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you want them vertical?
No. No.
What angle is a not pass?
Okay.
That's a good question.
That's a really good question. There is technically no angle. That's how, no, like I mean, for this level, can you just do a really not good cartwheel like you just did, except put your legs straight and wide?
Yeah.
Pass. Okay? As long as they're doing the proper motion with their legs, I would give it a pass at a tumblebugs one level.
So you want like the right foot that starts in front finishing maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, and I always try to tell my kids, like, come down one foot, then the other foot. Not the tuck or jump over thing, and then I feel like some kids were passing on that and some were not. I think that's one of those skills that we were never sure of. Does that answer the questions for that level? Yeah. Yeah. And then we have our half handstand facing the wall. So it's just the old wall walk thing. Just return it. Yeah. Except just walk up till you're in the pet. So I mean that to me is 3/4. You want to bring your feet down a little bit? That's good. Okay. So basically we're just doing an elevated front support, because the farther into the wall they're getting, the less control they're having, and everyone's bending their arms and crashing. And then again, it does say 3-second hold, because you will get the kids that race up the wall and basically don't even finish the skill and jump off and they're like done. And I'm not sure who's passing that either. So. No questions. Okay, cool. Everybody thinks this makes sense? Okay. I'm just going to go right through floor so we can just get it all done and you can see how it ends up, okay? So if we go to level 2. Okay, so if we go back to our incline. We do not have our log roll in here. You'll see it again in level 3 because there wasn't really that many progressions for it that we needed to keep doing it every single level. So if you come on up and just do forward roll again, but all the way to stand with your hands together. Okay, definite pass. Thanks. So anybody that's pushing off of it, also the kids that are coming up like this, you guys get those cross feet kids too and stuff, they need to start learning to come up the way Talia just showed you, okay? Sitting at the bottom, we have our rock and roll skill. So if you sit here, we're just gonna rock. Just sit back up. You don't touch your hands to your feet. So you can hold out your knees down. Okay, so this was in our old level, and it was commented on when we did the feedback forms that it's pretty difficult, especially for the younger kids. It takes a lot of practice. Kristen and I talked about taking it out completely, but it actually kind of develops into helping them with their forward roll stand. It helps with the backwards roll. It helps with the candle. So instead of doing that, we just decided to make it a little bit easier. You can stay there for 1 second. You can vary the height of the incline because if you have tiny little kids with big heads. Go ahead, Janine, just go get it. So you can just get this up on a box and make it even easier. In my mind, at tumblebugs 2, they should be able to pass if it's just a flat incline. Is everybody okay with that?
So you're saying it has to be like that kind of an incline and not say like that red one?
Yeah, I would say the red one is more of a cheat. Like our smaller one that we have, is that blue and white one? Or yellow one?
I know what you're talking about.
The folding
You
one?
guys know what I mean? The smaller, the very tiny incline. It's
Oh.
pretty much the same angle, right? So you could use that, and it could be a smaller station, so you're not wasting a bunch of space just to do this. But something to that effect. I mean, you could even use a bead board and cover it with a sting mat because that would give you about the same angle. Probably nothing higher. We're not doing in tumblebugs 1 anymore, so the chances of the kids being 3 are a little bit less likely. So they're probably already 4 at this point. And we have this extra help, so that's probably enough. Okay, so going on, we're going to go back to the cartwheel. So tumblebugs 2 cartwheel. It is directed, so that means. So can you do that? Not the cartwheel that you did again with straight legs and wide though, but on this mat. Okay, so again, legs straight, legs wide, nowhere near vertical, totally fine, and it is directed. So your options, I think we take almost any option for pass. If you can get them to do that, I don't really care how you get them to do that. If it's verbally, if you can just say to them, put your hands here, keep this, totally fine. If you want to use colors, like I usually use this mat. We also have some Velcro hands and feet upstairs. Coach Jamie always uses a hula hoop.
There's poly spot, like those little dots.
Yeah, you can pretty much make it happen. If you can make that happen in a directed way without actually spotting, it's a pass. Does that answer that question? Yeah, and the way Talia just did it is totally fine. I mean, obviously, by the time we get to the tumblebugs 5 level, we're going full.
Yes.
Okay, so forward roll to stand on floor with hand support. Make sure feet still stay together and legs aren't being crossed or any of those things. Over to the incline. We're doing our backwards roll with proper hand position. So you can start in a sit. They don't need to start in a squat in tumblebugs 3, but they have to land on their feet. And their hands have to be on the mat. So it's not hands behind your head anymore or hands down by your body, okay? Directed straight leg front wheel. So if you go back to that little square mat and you can use Velcro hands and feet or a hula hoop or anything to direct it. And not all the way up today, we're just going to do like that little one with the straight wide legs. Okay, anything about there is a pass or height. Over here we're doing our rock and roll. Stand up at the bottom of the incline. So no hands on the ground. Reach up and finish. Good. And on the sting mat, it goes back to straight body log roll, but instead of a tumblebugs 1 where all we're looking for is arms up and legs straight, they have to make it from one point to the next point without going crooked. So if they can do it the length of the sting mat and stay straight, then they are mastered. Tumblebugs 4. Back to the cartwheel. So they need to be able to do this at this point on the floor, non-directed. They need to be able to finish with the quarter turn. So they start looking one direction and finish the other. So there's no more stopping at the side. Good. Okay, we have our backwards roll on a flat mat. You can just do it on the floor if you want to. And it's to stand. So feet down on the ground. On the floor also, we're going to do our roll back to candle position. So you're going to need to introduce candle by now if they haven't already done that in tumblebugs 3. So roll backward, show candle, and sit back up. Good. And last we need to do our forward roll and stand up with no hands. Walter. So on the line, hands and knees. And we're gonna do our knee scale. So 1 foot up, look straight ahead, watch go. Hold for 3. So also what you guys call a 3-point balance, I guess. Which I didn't know. Good, any questions? Good. So then we're going to tumblebugs 2. Yeah, you can jump up there. Okay, so we have stepping over objects. So objects to me are beanbags, high stakes. They're not like trying to pile onto this high. They're not, because you have to keep it pretty consistent, right? So just walk forward. Make sure they're doing 1 foot in front of the other. Step over the objects. Okay. The sideways walking is going up to a medium beam. Open shut again. To me, medium beam, I guess we will say is waist height on a tot. Or a couple of them. So I will clarify that for you. The knee scale is happening on the beam now. It's a 3-second hold. Good.
When they're on the floor doing it, should we have them put their hands like that?
With the butterfly hands? Yeah, I would say I would try so that the transfer is easier. For sure. We have our momentary stork stance. So basically, momentary meaning they do not have to hold for 3 seconds. Just a stork stand. Yeah? Okay. So if they go up, 1, down, I would pass it. It's not a hold. It's just they have to be able to show you the position. It's pretty tough for a little guy to stand on 1 foot. So.
Is stork stand always like leg out?
Yes. Here. Yeah. I will tell them to put the bottom of their foot on the side of their knee. Or make a window. Okay. Straight stand for 3 seconds again. And then squat. No, straight stand. Just go back to squat. Touch toes. Just so person gets on tape. And your hands can go on the beam. So this one's a medium beam skill now. Okay. Again, that should be waist height. Okay, so releve is momentary and tumblebugs 3, so just the 2 foot on your toes. I'm done. Okay, so the knees should be straight. Get them as high as you can, and as long as they can show it the same way they showed the stork stand for like a whole second, they're good to go. Okay? Stork stand, make sure that, you can do another one for me. Make sure they're facing forwards. There's no sideways stork standing because it doesn't progress to anything. Now they need to be able to hold it for 3 seconds because they're starting to do skills on their toes. So things like flat feet, in my opinion, should be 3-second holds now. Walking backwards. Good. And they need to do their bunny hops. So just really good. And sideways crossing. So, yeah, lead footsteps, back foot crosses. I would only worry about the forward cross because coming up in 5 is the grapevine where you're going to have to teach them to alternate between back and front crosses. If you want to challenge them, you have a good group, you might want them to do backwards all the way down in this level. I wouldn't worry about them switching it up after every step of that point. You're probably just going to give yourself a headache trying to do that, okay? Questions about that? Game so fast. Okay, so then we have our releve balance again. 3-second hold, medium beam. So again, waist height for a tot. 1 foot should be a little bit in front of the other. Okay. Instead of the kick walks we were trying to teach before, we're just going to do a kick in place like we're doing a warm-up. So just, I would even start with just, yeah, kick my hand, put your foot back in. Yep, other way. Okay, so I would get them to do like for each leg. You can put a hoop on the beam or some kind of a directive like a mat or a yoga mat or something. Then they're not focused on walking and trying to kick at the same time.
Yeah, we're looking for like up to 90 degrees. they're kind of just
We gotta
like
put degrees in, by the way. There's a lot of degree questions.
'Kay.
Which is good.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking 45. Yeah, like so if he was kicking to below waist height, I would still say that's a kick as long as it's not this, right, that we get for soccer ball kicking. But I think this is going to be a better skill for them to master because I feel like when you put them up on the medium beam and then get them to walk forward and get them to try to kick as high as they can, it gets to be a bit confusing for them. Okay? Walking forward on toes. So we went back to low beam with the forward walk just because we're going on point, so we don't want to have anybody crashing. And again, I think it should be a full length without falling before you're getting them mastered on that. Then the objects go back on the beam, so you're getting a little bit bigger bunny hop from them. I personally think it's okay if you have smaller kids and they do the 2-foot hop over the beanbag, and then if they step to the next beanbag, if they're tinier than Talia, I don't see a problem with that as long as their feet are stuck together every time they hop and every time they land. Okay. And walking backwards goes up to waist height beam.
Can you put the size of the objects for the bunny hops?
I can. Yeah. Yeah, I definitely can.
Just in case.
Good. Thank you. Okay, so every skill is leading up to something, I promise. If you don't know the JO program very well, it's online. You can go have a look anytime at the JO 1 and 2 stuff, and that's pretty much where this is all going to take them eventually. We have copies here too if you want to just grab a book sometime and have a look. Okay, and that should give you a little bit more to do on beam because I'm finding like people think beam is really boring. So I feel like that might be a little bit more helpful too, not just walking all the time.
So with the walking backwards, do you care if they're like looking behind their shoulders to see where they're being at?
I care if it turns their body.
Okay.
Yeah, so I mean I would teach them about the feeling.
Yeah, but they can if they turn their head, it doesn't matter.
As long as it's not this, no. Like I sometimes put a hoop on the side because I don't like my kids to go off the end. When they're walking backwards, so I'll put it about here so then I'm just like when you pass the hoop, just jump down in it like all that. So we're not testing any kind of jumping off beam anyways at this point. Alright, but everyone to the bars. You guys can scooch closer if you want to yell at this video. What's her name? We'll just, I'll pull him out under this one for you, okay? You're a little bit big to be on there twice. Okay, so starting bars, we have a leg together, sole hold. So remember you asked me what that was the other day, so now you can show me. Okay, the reason that it's not say tuck anymore or does not say pike anymore, it's just specifically legs together, is because if you have a kid who's not flexible, they're never going to pass pike. If you have kids that do tuck, I find we get weird variations. Like sometimes we get a knee hang, sometimes we get nothing on the bar, sometimes we get frog legs because they're trying to get their butt up, and again, they don't have the flexibility to do this stuff. So as long as their legs stay together and they can count to 3 with their feet on the bar, I would pass it. Tuck hang under the bar. Do you want to go on the high bar or are you okay? Can you tuck on that? Come here. You want to climb? Look at that so you can see. He's up here? Yeah. Just a set, okay. So make sure you're, so even she needs direction, right? She does giant with her feet underneath her, so you want these in front as opposed to this.
How far into it?
As high as you can get them. Yeah, without them going upside down and being
But
like,
if they're like